Look, I promise you guys, if you stick to the end of this video, you will walk away a better person. I've been putting out content for the last 10 plus years. I put out over 600 videos, and I feel like this is the most valuable video that I've ever put out. So I'm excited to bring it to you. All right, so one thing that I like to do is whenever there's a certain event or milestone or like a birthday, I like to reflect and kind of look back and think about what lessons have I learned. Recently, I've been turning that into content to share with you guys, so that way you guys get the benefit. So on my 35th birthday, a few months back, I sat down and I was trying to think, what are 35 lessons that I've learned along the way that have helped me get to where I am today? Now, full disclosure, I'm not a multi-millionaire at the time of filming this video, but I'm doing everything in my power to become that multi-millionaire, that 2.0 version of myself. And these are lessons that I've learned and things that I'm applying to my life to help me get where I want to go. So I hope that this helps you get to where you want to go. Also, I plan to kind of breeze through all 35 of these. Let me know in the comments if there was a certain lesson that you want me to possibly turn into its own video in the future. Let me know down in the comments which lesson that you want me to dive deeper in. All right, so lesson number 1, you are forever a student. The last 2 years, I really started obsessing with reading books. I look at it as, if things happen in my life and I don't know how to deal with the situation, I feel like I'm not equipped with the tools. I remember after reading my first book, I just felt like I added so much information to my brain. And so now I'm equipped with the knowledge with how to deal with that situation. Success leaves clues, so study people that are more successful than you. My dad taught me a really long time ago that the most expensive thing that you'll ever own is a closed mind. So I took that and I approach every situation with an open mindset. I always try to think there's something that you can learn from people that are losing, and then there's also something that you can learn from people that are winning. Success leaves clues. There's people that are further along their journey than you are. Study them. You're always going to continue to learn new things each and every day. So that's what I mean by you're forever a student. All right, so lesson number 2, life doesn't get easier, you just get better. This kind of ties in with forever a student. You keep learning new things. So whatever problem that you're dealing with right now, you're probably not good enough to get past it. So with experience, with asking other people questions, with studying, with watching YouTube videos like this, you're able to learn new things. That way you become better to deal with these problems and situations that you're facing. Lesson number 3 is everything that you're going through is preparing you for what's next. When I was 18 years old, I wanted to be a millionaire. However, if I was a millionaire at 18, I wouldn't know what to do. I just wasn't ready. So the different that I went through from 18 to now is all lessons that I've learned that have helped mold me into the person that I need to be to become that multi-millionaire. Also, being that person, that 2.0 version of myself that I want to become, there's a lot of different that I'm going to have to deal with. So there's been a lot of lessons, even things that I'm going through right now that are teaching me certain things. I seen the dude that I look up to, Alex Hormozi, he was saying, you can't have strong character and not ever go through Like if everything was just handed to you, you'd fumble. Basically, in order to be a strong, disciplined person, that really appreciates things, that has a lot of different gratitude, you have to maybe lose things. You have to take some losses. You have to learn some lessons. Lesson number 4 is there's no such thing as the right time, so just do it now. All right, so recently, me and a friend, we started a podcast. For the last maybe 6 months, I kept waiting like, you know what, man, I'm really busy. I got a lot of different things going on. Let's just wait for things to slow down. And then I stopped and I thought about it like, bro, the direction that I'm going for my future, when am I ever not gonna be busy? So I said, no. We just need to put it on the schedule and start now. You're only gonna get busier and busier. I'm only gonna get busier and busier. So instead of putting things off until it slows down and we become less busy, it's like, no, the answer is we're only gonna get busier and busier. So just start now, make time. All right, so lesson number 5 is you get what you want from helping other people get what they want. This video right here, when I first started putting out content, it was more so selfish, right? I just wanted to have more fans and followers. I wanted more people to know that I even existed. And I was trying to do that with just kind of look at how cool I am. Look at the different things that I got going on. And although that can be inspiring, that can be entertaining, that can be educational, so I still do that. But it wasn't until I started specifically making content that benefited me none. It was just all, hey, let me teach you how to do something that I know how to do. And once I started doing more and more of that, I started getting the feedback from you guys, from the audience, where it was like, hey man, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't know how to shoot a music video. And because you taught me this, now I make a living doing this. Thank you. That goes a long way, because now that person is going to be forever grateful for you. Good karma spreads. And I feel like the more people you help, the more good karma you have coming your way. And then also when it comes to building and leveraging an audience, it's going to be really hard for you to do that, to not help other people. So help other people get what they want and be able to get what you want. This goes with business. The best business situations are, how can I help you help me. So you win and I win. Mutually beneficial situations are the best situations. Lesson number 6 is for every 10 minutes of planning, you save at least 1 hour of executing. You gotta find a balance with this. I'm someone that has a history and I tend to overthink things. So I like to get stuck in that planning stage. And I know as creative people, it's more comfortable to not actually do the thing and to kind of sit back and be like, man, I'm still mapping it out. I'm still trying to get my strategy and my plan together. But a lot of times we try to wait until we have 100% of the situation figured out before we start, when in reality, you only need about 60 to 70% of it planned out in order to get started. So instead of blindly diving into something, before I do anything, I always stop and I'm like, okay, let's say, for example, I'm gonna make a landing page for a website. Instead of sitting down at a blank screen and being like, I don't even know where to get started, I don't know what a good final result looks like, the first thing that I'm gonna do is the planning, the strategizing. Remember, success leaves clues. So I'm gonna look up the people that have already done it and I'm like, okay, that's what good looks like. So now I know what direction I'm going. Now, before I even just guess how to do it, let me hop on YouTube and let me search how to make a landing page. And I'm gonna watch the first 5 to 10 videos and I'm gonna learn from all these different people. And then afterwards, I'm like, okay, I just spent that maybe 1 hour of planning, and I feel like that's equal to 6 hours of just sitting there at a blank screen and not knowing where to start, not knowing what to do. So having a plan, having a strategy can be a game changer. Lesson number 7, they build you up, then they try to break you down. So a lot of people in the beginning stages, once you start to get some momentum on your side, before you had that momentum, you might get some support like, hey man, you're doing your thing, that's awesome. But once you start actually doing it, you're gonna see people start to switch and they're gonna be like, oh, look at you, Mr. Big Shot, man, you too busy, you changed. And of course you've changed. We're always gonna change, we're always gonna evolve. But people like to make this picture out in their heads because we're creatures of habit. And we like to know, hey, Crack-a-Lack, that's not Crack-a-Lack, that's the dude that I went to high school with. They don't like to accept the fact that you've changed and evolved and grown into something. And then it also reminds them of their lack of following through and pursuing their dreams. Like, when did it ever become cool to not pursue your dreams, to not put yourself out there? I strongly disagree with that. I would never in my life tear down or speak down on someone that's trying to put themselves out there to level up, to become a better version of themselves, to want more out of life. It's never cool to hate on someone for doing that. The people that are gonna hate on you are the people that were too scared to take the leap of faith and pursue their dreams, to pursue a better life for themselves. So when they say you do it, it reminds them of their own fear and failure, so they just take it out on you. Lesson number 8, I say this all the time. Hard work pays off, people just quit too soon. If you would just change your timeline on how you judge if something is working or not working on a bigger timeline, it'll always work out. For example, let's say someone's trying to put out content and they're trying to grow an audience. If you stick to that and you have the mindset of like, hey, I'm gonna do this for a month and we'll see if it works or not, you're setting yourself up for failure. Instead, be like, yo, I'm gonna do this for the next 5 to 10 years and we'll see if it works out or not. And I promise you, you'll see that it does. We're pursuing anything. If it was easy, everyone would do it. And the thing is, if it was easy, it wouldn't be special. Like, okay, you want 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, boom, here you go overnight. You're gonna be like, oh, that was easy, that was cool. But if instead, in my case, I've been putting out content for 10 plus years, so over a decade, stress, sweat, and years, I've been doing this. So when it finally does happen, it's like, bro, I appreciate this so much. You're gonna see plaques behind me in every single video because it was so hard to get there. If you give yourself a long enough timeline, things will always work out, I promise. All right, lesson number 9 is if you don't quit, you never lose. So with trying to become successful, with trying to achieve anything, accomplish any goal, it's very similar to the stock market. Let's say you're investing in some stocks and right now your stocks are down 50%. So let's say you had $1,000 invested and now it's only worth $500. Technically, you've lost half of your money, but it's only if you sell. If you never sell, you never take that loss. So you hold on to it and it might be a year from now, it might be 10 years from now, but eventually it can go back up and then you sell it and you make your money or you break even. So you only take that loss if you sell, and with trying to achieve your goals, pursuing success, you only ever lose if you quit. So as long as you don't quit, you'll never lose. It's simple. Lesson number 10, winners are focused on winning, losers are focused on winners. Don't be so insecure that you're constantly worried about being judged, the spotlight effect. So you're focused on what this guy's doing, what that guy's doing. And you only have so much time and attention in a day. So if you're wasting that time and attention worried and focused on what they're doing, by the end of the day, you've wasted all of your time and energy focused on all the winners and what they're doing. And instead, you're not paying attention to what the other guys are doing and you're focused on what you're doing. Then you're investing all of your time and energy into you. And that's what it takes to win. Lesson number 11 is you are the company you keep. If you're not happy and proud of the people around you, it's perfectly fine to be okay. There's a lot of years that I spent by myself and I'm happy and appreciative because I feel like a lot of that alone time, I did a lot of soul searching and I really was able to figure out who I am and what I want out of life. I think that energy is very transferable from one person to the next. So if you're around a lot of negative, toxic, petty, unhappy people, it just rubs off around you, right? Instead, imagine if you only spent time with people that were making millions of dollars, that were super successful, that were always, displayed discipline, were smart, were always studying, were always doing the things that you needed to do. Odds are that you're gonna start acting like them. Now, if you hang around a lot of losers and people that are doing the complete opposite, odds are you're gonna start acting like them. It just becomes a lot harder for you. I can hang around a bunch of losers every day and still stay focused because I have years of being a winner. And plus my why is so strong that it doesn't matter who I'm around, I'm gonna always do what I need to do. Lesson number 12 is protect your energy, right? There's only so much time and energy that you have every single day. So if you're wasting it on things that aren't benefiting you, that aren't helping you get to where you want to go, helping you get further, farther, faster, it's a waste of your energy. You got to protect your energy at all costs. Lesson number 13, brain dump, organize, execute. I'd say do this at least once a week, maybe every Sunday where you're planning out your week. Myself being a very creative person, maybe you can relate. I get overwhelmed with so many thoughts and so many ideas and I have so many different things going on that I can get lost basically any day. So one thing that I've been doing is once a week on Sunday, I like to sit down and be like, okay, what are just all the different things on my head? And one thing that you can do is, let's say you have a couple different businesses or a couple different ventures, or maybe you got some customer work that you need to do, and then you got some of your own content that you want to do this week, and then maybe you got some personal life things that are on your mind. Just get a piece of paper or a Google Doc and at the top put personal. And then on that note, you're like, okay, I know I need to get groceries, I need to prep my meals, I need to do this. Just think of anything that you can think of that has to do with that topic, just dump it all on the piece of paper or the Google Doc. And then you get on the next Google Doc or the next piece of paper and you're like, all right, content this week. What are all the different ideas and things that I wanted to make content about? And just start dumping, boom, 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 boom. And you get everything out there on the piece of paper. And then maybe with customer work, you're like, all right, I got to edit this video. I got to do this. Or I got to do this. Just brain dump all the different things that you have to do, things that you can think of. And then what you do, once you have the big mess, that dump, you start organizing it. And now you're like, okay, how many hours would it take for me to knock out this video? Okay, what day this coming week does it make the most sense for me to do this? And I'm gonna get a haircut Thursday. So maybe I got time on Thursday. Thursday is gonna be my content day. So all this content stuff, boom, it goes on the calendar for Thursday. And then you have customer work and you're like, ooh, this is a deadline. I told them I'm gonna have it done by Friday. So now you put it on the schedule and on your calendar. I'm gonna get this shit done on this day. Lesson number 14 is your brain is for creatively coming up with ideas, but not actually storing them, right? You should store everything somewhere else. So whether it's a Google Doc, whether it's a pad of paper, that's where you should store your ideas. But as far as coming up with ideas, you can keep that top of mind. But once you come up with ideas, you need somewhere to put them. So that way you don't have to use your memory. You only have so much time and energy in a day. So you don't want to waste up that energy trying to remember things because our brains aren't meant for that. They're meant for creatively coming up with ideas. So have a place where you store and organize all of your ideas. I like Google Docs, but I also like actually handwriting it on a pad of paper. All right, lesson number 15 is the best investment you'll ever make is in yourself. And I've heard that for years, right? And I never knew what it meant until it was like, okay, I paid someone for a coaching call who was years ahead of me. I've been on YouTube for about a decade. At the time of filming this, about 80,000 subscribers. And the dude that I paid for a consultation with YouTube, he's helped 60 plus different YouTube channels get to 1 million plus subscribers. So this guy's got a lot of data in his head. They say you'll never live long enough to learn everything yourself. I may never have the data and information that he has in his head. So instead I'm like, okay, I can pay him for a 1-hour consultation and ask him this list of these questions and I can shortcut that learning curve just like that. So whether it's taking courses, whether it's reading books, whether it's watching free content just like this, whether it's paying to join communities and masterminds with other like-minded people, that's what they mean when they say the best investment you'll make is in yourself. It's time, money, attention, things that help you get further, farther, faster. Lesson number 16 is doing the thing is not the hard part. Becoming the person, that's the hard part. A lesson I learned a couple years ago, and I had different wants that I had in my life, and I realized that I had a lot of bad habits. And I learned this from reading the book Atomic Habits. I'd love to make a video talking about all the lessons that I learned from reading the book Atomic Habits, but that's the #1 book that I recommend to anyone and everyone. I think that has the most life-changing information and lessons inside of it. And from when I read that book, I realized, damn, man, at the rate that I'm going, time is not on my side. It's only a matter of time, and I'm kind of like just getting by. I got to change my habits up so that way it's only a matter of time before all these good and great things that I want to happen in my life happen. They're inevitable because of what I'm doing each and every day. You want time on your side and your friend, not your enemy. Lesson number 17, having a plan B is betting on your plan A to fail. The only way to make it is you have to have no plan B. You gotta burn the boats. To this day, I remember out of high school, our parents, they want us to be successful. So what they're taught from back in the day, that college was the thing that helps us become successful. So they just want us to be safe. They want to reduce the risk. And it makes sense. Once you're a father and you think about your kids, you want them to have the least amount of risk in their life and kind of like the safe route, but no risk, no reward. I remember my mom always telling me, hey, this place is hiring, this place is hiring. And I could never see myself doing anything other than what I do today. And I think the only reason why I do what I do today is because this was the only option. You become what you think about, and I would never allow myself to think of me doing anything other than what I do today. So a pro tip is the younger you are, the least amount of responsibilities that you have, that's when you need to go all in. The older you are, the more responsibilities, children, mortgage payments, car payments, different things like that, the more responsible you need to be because you have to be. You have a whole family depending on you. You have a lot of overhead every single month. When I was going all in, I'm living at home with my parents. I'm 18. I didn't have my daughter at the time. I'm single. I had very, very, very little overhead. So I went all in, obsessed with it. Because in the beginning, you're not just going to go from zero to making a living like that. It might be, I had a lot of weeks of zero income. Another week, zero income. Next week, I made $25. Then the next week, I made $600. Then the next week, I made $100. And I had that type of cycle going on for some years. That's what was required. Lesson number 18, here's a business tip. Treat every customer like the future of your entire business is dependent on that one customer. Went through a phase as I became busier and more demand that there's kind of a line of customers always ready to work with me. And not that I took them for granted, but I definitely didn't treat them like the future of my entire business was dependent on that one customer. And it wasn't until kind of 2020, 2021, the pandemic happened, things slowed down, and I had a lot less customers. Things were slow. Once things started picking up, I was so thankful to be working in the studio, doing what I do with a customer, and I just gave them my undivided attention. So right now, if you're in the beginning phase, just focus on getting your first customer. If you got a few customers already, the next time you work with a customer, just pretend that you're not capable of getting any more customers, and the whole future of your business is dependent on this one customer. Imagine how much better the experience that they get from you. Lesson number 19, having a job is not the safe route. Entrepreneurship is. With entrepreneurship, you're in control. With a job, you're not in control. When it comes to having a job, there's a boss that's in the driver's seat, and at any given moment, he can be like, you know what, I think we need Crack-A-Lack anymore. Let's try to save some money. Hey man, best of luck in the future. You gotta go. It's like, what? I've been here for this many years, That's scary to think about. With entrepreneurship, it's always you. The thing that I love the most about entrepreneurship is not that I'm a control freak, but when it comes to my life and my future and my family's dependent on it, I have to be in the driver's seat. I can never let another man or a woman be in the driver's seat when it comes to my future or my family's future. I have to be in the driver's seat, and you're only able to ever achieve that through entrepreneurship. Now, this doesn't mean that you always have to be the boss. You can partner with other people. So there's certain situations where you're kind of doing your entrepreneur freelancer thing, and then you're partnering with other entrepreneur freelancers, and you guys have a deal worked out. For example, video editing. Hey man, I need these videos edited. You can say, hey, this is what I charge to edit videos. You're able to work on your time, and you're able to dictate what prices that you want to charge. So that's where you can get the benefit of both worlds, where you're still doing entrepreneurship, but you're working with other people. It's not a job. Lesson number 20 is there's a power in acceptance. Accepting people and things for how they are. There's a Venn diagram that I love, and it says things that matter and things that you can control. And then where they overlap in the middle, it's things that matter that you can control. If you're stressed out or upset about a certain person for acting a certain way, you got to stop and think, can I control how they act? No. Okay, well then I'm just going to accept them for how they are and put them here in my life, right? I'm going to distance myself a little bit because this is a toxic person. This person is kind of a ticking time bomb. I accept them for it, so I'm not going to be upset when they act the way they do. Just distance myself. The same thing with situations. Man, this isn't going to plan. Well, is it in your control? No, it's out of your control. Like this guy's control. Okay, well then accept it for what it is and just focus on what do you need to do and what's in your control to set you free. Lesson 21, focus on things that you can control. Again, there's things that matter, and then there's things that you can control where they overlap in the middle. That's things that matter and things that you can control. Only focus your time and attention in that place. Lesson 22, document what you do. It helps people see your process. It helps you become a better person. Right now, I'm on vacation in the middle of Florida at a resort and there's different people walking by, and I'm still focused on this, right? It helps you become a better person. It helps with character skills. It helps overcoming confidence. I'm a super introverted person, but I realize the power in creating content, so I do it. You know, I'm right here right now. Normally, if I had to choose between staying inside, not filming the videos, I'm way more comfortable doing that than putting myself out there, being around a bunch of strangers in public and filming content, but it's what's required. My why is strong enough to push me to be uncomfortable, right? Change, all the good stuff happens where you're uncomfortable. Lesson 23, customer will become your friend before a friend becomes your customer. I learned this when I was starting a clothing line, and I'm thinking in my head, oh, I got all these friends, I got all these cousins, aunts, uncles, my siblings. Every time we drop, they're all gonna buy everything we do. And yes, there was a few of them that supported, but they still wanted, you know, super discounts where you're not making any money. And to actually support a friend or family member in their business, they charge what they charge because they've already done the math to figure out, all right, my cost is this much. So in order for me to actually grow my business, from all my research, I need to charge this. So when you say, this is my price, you've already done the homework. So when people ask for a discount, that's not how businesses grow. And that's not how people truly support your business. My best friend to this day started as a customer. You know, he wanted a sports highlight tape done when he was in high school. And so he paid me for that, and I did it. And then over time, he started a clothing line, and, you know, we kind of linked through the clothing line, like as an influencer, and more that we were around each other. It was like, yo, I like this dude. He's cool. Now we're best friends. I was the best man in his wedding. A lot of the different friends in my life today, it all stemmed from business, right? They were a customer at some point. I was a customer at some point. We did business with each other, so we're around each other. Because when you're focused on doing what you need to do, you're not wasting your time in the bars and you're doing business. So you're kind of gonna only come encounter with other people doing business, and that's where relationships start. Lesson 24 is always focus on the big picture. What I love to say is, when in doubt, zoom out, look down the road to judge if things are going good or not. One thing that I found personally, it wasn't until I started leaving the front porch, going to different cities and states, and networking with other like-minded people, that once I got back home, the way that I made decisions, my mindset, everything was always just so much bigger than the people that I was around. I noticed a lot of the local guys, all they would talk about and focus on is what's happening locally. And meanwhile, I never engaged or wasted any time or energy in anything to do with local, where it's like, yo, this is the best guy in the city, blah, blah, blah. I want to hold myself up there with the best people in the world. It's a huge world that we live in. I always like to think, you know, the top guy locally, is he crushing it? Is he living a life that I want to live? If not, then I'm not competing with him. I want to compete with the guys that are the top dogs in the game, the people that are living how I want to live. Those are the people that I'm competing with. Lesson 25, when in doubt, zoom out. A lot of my decision making has changed, you know, when it comes to YouTube. Right now, the content that I'm posting, it's not crushing. It's sucking. But I'm reminding myself, hey man, right now, out the gate, the content might not do that well, but I know that give it enough time, this content is good. So it might not get the views that it deserves right now, which is okay. But zoom out long enough, you know, a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, I know that this content is good. I know that eventually it's gonna reach the right people, and they're gonna appreciate it, they're gonna like it, they're gonna watch it, they're gonna engage with it, and then the algorithm will slowly but surely start sharing it to more and more people. So just kind of head down, I'm doing what I need to do. Right here, right now, I might not see the results that I want. Right now, you might want millions of followers, but right now you don't have it. So just focus on what do you need to do right here, right now, in order to get time on your side, where it's only a matter of time. A year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, you're gonna keep growing and growing and get closer and closer to where you wanna go. Lesson number 26, if it doesn't exist, create it. When it comes to finding my niche, right? I done music producing for 20 years. I shoot music videos for over 10 plus years. Like, there's not a blueprint laid out for me for where I wanna go. So I'm like, okay, it doesn't exist right now. There's not a roadmap that I can follow in order to go where I wanna go. So instead, I gotta create the roadmap. So that way, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, there's gonna be people coming up that's like, I wanna take the Crack-A-Lack route. This is how he did it, right? I'm interested in all these different things, and everyone that's giving advice is like, this is what you need to do in order to become a music video director. But it's like, what if I don't wanna just become a music video director? You know, there's other guys, this is what you need to do step by step in order to become a successful music producer. What if I don't wanna just become a successful music producer? What if I wanna do all these different things? Well, I don't know, that path doesn't exist. Okay, perfectly fine, I accept that, right? There's a power in accepting, and I'm gonna create it. Lesson number 27, you are what makes you special. You are one of one. There is and will only ever be one of you, and that's the thing that you're selling. When it comes to my video work, I can tell you, hey, this is the camera that I use, this is the lens that I use, here's my settings, here's how many shots that I do when I do a video, here's my process of editing it, etc. Even if you get your video final product to look how my videos look, it's still me that people are paying for and booking. Like, they want you. So I know that it's me that I'm selling. It's me that people people are investing in and want to work with and are drawn to. So I can give away all the information. I give away everything perfectly for free, and that's fine because I know that the real value, what makes me successful is me. Yes, I have a knowledge and a skill set of all these different tools that I use. However, it's me that makes me special. So it's you that makes you special. What you are selling is yourself. Lesson 28 is protect your reputation at all costs. It's one of the rules from the 48 Laws of Power. You can be building your reputation for years and years and years, and you can ruin it all overnight, just like that, from making the wrong decisions. So protect your reputation at all costs. If there's certain situations where you're like, ooh, right here, right now, I don't want to do this, but I know this is good for my reputation, do it. Lesson 29 is you'll never live long enough to learn everything yourself, so learn from others. This comes down to watching content just like this, reading books, going through courses, learn from other people's mistakes. Dumb people never learn from their mistakes. I would say the average people learn from their own mistakes, and smart people learn from other people's mistakes, right? Success leaves clues. Study other people. Lesson 30, you're one skill away from completely changing your life. And the good news is every skill is learnable. If I think back on my journey, I've continued to stack skills year after year after year after year, and that's what makes me so valuable. This all started when the only skills I had at one point in time was like writing a song, and then eventually I learned how to record the song, then mix the song, then master the song, and then I learned how to design my own graphics, and then I learned how to do CD duplication, and then I learned how to use a camera for pictures, for videos, how to edit photos, how to do graphic design. Then I had to learn how to do marketing, then I learned how to do ads, websites. You see, like over time, I've become more and more valuable because I've acquired more and more skills. So what you need is to focus on learning more skills. Lesson 31 is reverse engineer what you want to figure out how you get it. So right now, if I think I want to own a very successful recording studio, okay, so I stop and think, picture the recording studio already being successful. What does it look like? Okay, it's got a lot of customers. So now I'm reverse engineering. Well, how do you go from no customers to a lot of customers? Oh, I got to get the word out. Okay, so I got to get the word out. That's a priority. What else? Would my recording studio be more successful if it had a lot of followers or no followers at all? A lot of followers. So, okay, I'm picturing a lot of followers. Right now, we only have this many followers. So between not a lot of followers and a lot of followers, what do we do? Well, we definitely got to be posting a lot of content. We got to be providing value, entertainment. I've came across a lot of businesses that are successful and I see their ads online. So we need to be doing ads. It's reverse engineering what it is that you want. If you're trying to lose weight, picture a person that's jacked, ripped, muscular. Do you get that from not working out and from eating like a pig? No. So you know there's a diet that I'm going to have to follow. I'm going to have to work out. And then now you start figuring it out as you go with, let me follow this routine for a while. Let's see how it does. Let me follow this diet for a while and see how it does. Start with the finished, complete picture in your mind, then reverse engineer how to get there. Lesson 32, always look out for the other driver. Successful people always take accountability for what they could have done. So even if another car runs into you, just think, damn, you know what, that was my bad, man. I should have seen the car coming. I could have maybe got out the way, right? Where a lot of losers, they point the finger at anyone and everyone but them damn selves, and successful people, winners, take accountability. What could I have done? Even if, yeah, we get it, we know. That person blindsided you, blah, blah, blah. Maybe I could have been more careful. Maybe I should have been more cautious of my surroundings. Lesson 33, go through the motions to create the emotions. For example, going to the gym. You may not feel like going to the gym, but as long as you put your shoes on, you put your gym clothes on, you get in the car, you drive to the gym, you start doing the first exercise, maybe the second exercise, you're already there. You're going to continue to work out, and then you're always going to feel better after. I've never went to the gym and then regretted it after. I always feel better. So when you're not feeling it, say creatively, you're going through a creative block or a creative burnout, go outside, start walking, get the gears moving. They say our mind follows our body. So as long as the body's moving, the mind will start moving and the gears start churning. Lesson 34 is act like the person you want to become the person you want to become. When I think about me being this multi-millionaire, super successful guy, lots of businesses, great work-life balance with family, I can't picture me being that person and like staying up all night, sleeping in, having this crazy irregular schedule. I'm like, no, to be that dude, bro, I'm probably following the schedule to the T. I'm up at this time. I'm doing this. So even though you're not that person yet, pretend that you are and be like, okay, if I was this person, what would my schedule look like? Start following that schedule now. Last but not least, lesson 35, the spotlight effect. We see things from our point of view. For example, my daughter was upset. She's 11 now and she's starting to get some acne. And she was worried about, man, at school, everyone's gonna be looking at my acne and judging me. And I was telling her, are you the only person in school that has acne? And she was like, no, basically all the kids in my grade right now have acne. And I said, right. So you're thinking that everyone is staring at you and your acne, but they're all thinking that everyone's staring at their acne and judging them. Same thing with the gym. My sister's embarrassed of going to the gym and working out because she's afraid and she thinks that everyone's staring at her and judging her. And I'm like, no, every single person there is thinking the same thing, the spotlight effect, that everyone is staring at them and judging them. It's just like a movie. When we watch a movie and there's a main character, in your life, you're the main character of your movie. But in other people's life, you're just, you know, taxi driver number 2, security person number 3, just like a supporting character. But in your life, you're the main character. So you think in terms that everyone is judging you, but they're not. That's the spotlight effect. This was a very long video. If you made it to the end, let me know in the comments. Made it to the end, you're a real one. I greatly appreciate you. I hope that this video provides you guys some value. Make sure you subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Crack-A-Lack TV, we out.